Well, hello. It has come to this, guys. The final Star Wars commentary from us. This is Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker, parentheses, episode 9. Joining me, as has been with us throughout Star Wars commentaries, is Michael. How you doing, Michael?
Sober. So far.
Okay, so that this is going to be one you might want to watch with a bit of the drinky drink, guys. We're going to get into this in just a sec, but first, I want to give a mention to my buddies over at CALDERALab.com, makers of the finest skincare in the system. Use my promo code FRY15, save 15% at checkout. All right. I think we are ready to give this a go. Watching on Disney Plus, queue up to 000. If you'd like to watch along while you listen, hit play now. I've got me a popcorn, I've got me a Rockstar, and I'm sprinkling some Reese's Pieces, the last little packet I had left over from Halloween. That is right.
Well, let's review. What have we had from this franchise so far as Disney is concerned? The Force Awakens. Episode 7, but really just a remake of A New Hope. Rogue One, a prequel no one asked for. More on that later. The Last Jedi, you saw what that movie did. It fractured the fan base permanently. Solo, no one cared anymore. And now this movie, the final nail in the coffin, as we knew right from seeing the trailer. And the dead speak Emperor Palpatine is back. Oh my god, this is gonna blow.
Yeah, when you saw the trailer and you had the what did he say, like Rise Skywalker? He said something, right? And it was kind of like maybe that will just be some kind of flashback thing. Now that we're trying to do flashbacks in Star Wars, maybe it won't be. Red Letter Media said there's only one way to go: awful time travel story. And surprisingly, this isn't a time travel story.
Look, if they really wanted to bring Palpatine back, first of all, no one in Disney can use the argument, oh, that was the plan all along. No, it
No, it
wasn't.
sure shit wasn't.
Look, killing off Snoke was a mistake, and Rian Johnson screwed up. So the only thing they had left was making Kylo Ren the main villain, right? But is
See,
Kylo Ren...
I disagree about killing off Snoke being a mistake. Your main villain should be, you know, as we mentioned, if there was a turn, a serious turn, your villain could be Rey.
Yeah,
But
that could.
now, as how that movie ended, your villain should be Kylo Ren.
It should be, but is Kylo Ren really a main villain material? No, he isn't, and they knew that, so...
It's really shocking that Disney greenlit this without a thorough concept for 3 films. You know, just fly by wire. I hate this fight at the beginning here because he like clotheslines one of these guys and the lightsaber doesn't go through him.
Yeah,
Like, right? What is that?
And I should mention, this is supposed to be Mustafar, the lava planet in Revenge of the Sith. What happened? I guess it's another area of the planet, or the lava just
They
dissipated
grow
right
trees in the lava. That's some tough ass trees, man.
As I was saying, bringing back Palpatine was a last-minute, desperate ditch effort. Also, fan service. They're doing whatever they can to keep the fans interested. Same as bringing back Lando. Oh, he's going to die, right? Just like Han
What we're
did,
doing
just like
right
Luke did.
now is another bad MacGuffin hunt, which seems to be a hallmark of J.J. Abrams.
The Sith Wayfinder. Am I still watching Star Wars, or am I watching The Legend of Zelda?
What do you think about this? You can only find the place if you have the throw. You can't seem to go around the nebula or whatever. Like, I don't get that.
Join the club. There's so much in the stuff that leaves so many more
You know, it's like I've
questions than
mentioned
there
with
are
JJ.
answered.
Yeah, he by the time you start thinking this doesn't make sense, he just raises another question. That's the J.J. Abrams style right there.
Okay, and if bringing back Palpatine was the plan for Episode 9, how about this? End Episode 8 with Palpatine giving his statewide broadcast, "Hey Galaxy, I'm coming back to destroy you now. I'm getting my revenge." What a cliffhanger that would have been, and
I think
why
your
not? Make the
Palpatine's
fans
better
even
than
more
mine,
angry.
but I did do an off-cuff Alex Jones earlier today, which was spot on. I'll have you know.
And also, Palpatine could get his revenge without saying a word. Just Revive all his Star Destroyers, all his whole entire fleet. Just force,
They
just jump
are.
attack everyone. Do a
Well,
surprise attack.
what do you think about the vagueness of Palpatine's return? Somehow Palpatine has returned. And they don't. Their theory is he a clone? Is Snoke a clone? Snoke's lab grown. Apparently, they have clones of Snoke. Maybe. Is this Palpatine the same one that we saw get thrown to the bottom of the Death Star?
Is that the same Palpatine even? That's what I brought up during Return of the Jedi.
I think this movie does more of a disservice to the franchise than even the previous one, because now it is saying the accomplishments of the original trio of heroes are void.
Everything, every single thing from episode 1 through 6 is now irrelevant.
This is
Palpatine
what
being alive
uncreative people
undoes
do, man.
all of that. Hell,
It's just
The Force
what
Awakens and Last Jedi are now irrelevant.
what uncreative people do is they get a cushy job, they get brought in to on somebody else's franchise, and then they shit all over it so that you have to accept their version of it. I think there's more backlash, than acceptance.
Okay, Palpatine's hands, they're all kind of, whatever, wrinkled and messed
Got
up.
got
So
a,
is
got a bit
that
of bone
supposed to be the
sticking through
damage
some of the
from
fingers
him
there.
falling in the shaft and then somehow being revived?
I think that may be the consequence of lightning through your fingertips a little too much.
And what's this? Palpatine has god
This is
powers
utter
if he can
nonsense, is what
revive
this
all of these
is.
Star Destroyers from wherever they were hiding below all this ice. What were these Star Destroyers and all the officers
Why
inside these doing for all this time? Just
yeah,
waiting for the right moment?
it kind of reminds me of the Indiana Jones 4, Crystal Skull, right? How there's just some guys in the ruins who are in the walls waiting for somebody to come by. So were these guys all at their stations for decades waiting to be unearthed? If you have this fleet, why haven't you taken over the galaxy already? Again.
Palpatine
Why are
could
you in
use the
hiding? None of this makes sense.
Palpatine could use the Force to push a planet into one another if he's this powerful.
If you're powerful enough, you can make all these things rise out of the ground. Then you don't actually need them. It's like you said. Like he could just go around throwing planets at each other.
I can't even say, well, okay, I kind of can. It's a joy to see Emperor Palpatine,
This
Ian
stop
McDiarmid
motion,
back playing the character he loves playing more than anyone. It's a
chess
paycheck for him.
piece
How can
thing
he say
here is
no?
this old school stop motion. Trying to incorporate that into this. I think it looks like it is.
Look, space chess, everyone. Remember from the original Star Wars?
There's a very different way dialogue is done in this, especially when it pertains to these two, Poe and Finn. They kind of have this mumblecore, unscripted type dialogue between them. It doesn't sound like Star Wars talking. It sounds like contemporary film in America.
And here we go, going into another boring, unexciting space chase.
What do you think about Finn's new hairdo?
The least said, the better.
Got to sell new action figures, right? Got to change the clothes, change the hair. Got to collect them all, Pokemon, or catch them all, whatever. So we've got a spy within the First Order giving us information we have to pick up personally. All right. No Wi-Fi. Got to use the cable.
As I was saying, with both Ian McDiarmid and Billy D. Williams, of course, how could they say no to getting a paycheck?
Well, how much do you think Red Leader, oh god, what's his name? He's got a line, right? Oh, you know what I'm talking about. I forgot. Ewan McGregor's uncle. Good thinking, Chewie. Everybody understands Chewie. Who do you think owns the Millennium Falcon at this point? It kind of seemed like it was gifted to Rey, but it should be Chewie's, probably.
I think if anyone, it should be Chewie's. He was closer to Han. And later on in the movie, when they bring back the Falcon, when they land on that forest planet, wherever they are, forest planet, yeah, we're ripping off Return of the Jedi. Rey says something like, "What happened to my ship? When did it become your ship, Rey?"
Well, she just sort of took off with it at the end of The Force Awakens, and it's kind of like, shouldn't Chewie be making the call on this? Now, we've introduced a new concept here. Warp inside planet to other places. Like, you don't have to leave a planet to hit these, to turn on the hyperdrive anymore. You just kind of like, wherever. Our floating rock CGI has improved since the last movie.
Everything in these new movies, they're just taking the entire mythology of Star Wars and turning it on its head, doing things we've never thought possible. How long has Rey been training under Leia? A couple months, maybe a year? How long has it been since The Last Jedi?
I have a theory that Carrie Fisher's lines are not all said by Carrie Fisher. I think uncredited Nancy Cartwright, Bart Simpson, does some of her lines.
I think you're right. And, of course, fans would be outraged if they did something like cast Meryl Streep as Leia at this point.
Man, I was watching burning through the Seinfeld episodes on Netflix, and the low talker who convinced Jerry to wear the pirate shirt sure looked like Meryl Streep.
No one but Carrie Fisher could be Leia, sure, but at the same time, was there anything not preventing them from...
Why is Vader's helmet smoking? Why is it smoldering? This thing's been cooling off for decades.
Good question, but as I was saying, they could have done what they did in Rogue One, cast another actress and then CG Carrie Fisher over her.
Rey got shot in the arm by a training bot. She's not perfect. You can't call her a Mary Sue. Look at that. She got shot again. She has flaws.
Maybe you could use the argument Kylo Ren's distracting her, doing this force touch Vader's helmet. They're both
he's got to do the
something.
force Zoom meeting, yeah. I feel like that lightsaber has a red bandage around it to kind of evoke Western imagery, like Chinese sword fighting.
And even going into this movie, the title, The Rise of Skywalker. What rise? Luke's dead. Leia's basically dead.
The Rise title is symptomatic of The Dark Knight Rises. Despite being the ending of a trilogy, they throw that Rise in there, then all of a sudden, Rise was everywhere. Everything was rising all of a sudden.
It could very well be what's coming at the very end of the movie. We know what that is. More on that later. But while it's on my mind, as I was saying, was there anything preventing them from doing what they did in Rogue One, having another actress play Leia, then CG Carrie Fisher over her, like what they did in Rogue One? But what they did instead was supposedly use unused footage from The Force Awakens, incorporate that into the movie for Leia's scene. Like, what is...
I mean, you can do that, but at some point, does someone say it's distasteful? Usually everybody gets on board. I mean, they did a number of tricks for Paul Walker in Fast Furious 7, I believe. and people were okay. Oh, it's such a loving tribute, something like that.
Okay, I'm keeping my eyes open for Billy Lord when she shows up. She dyes her hair dark in this movie.
She
Speaking
was
of
just
which,
there, right? Conics.
yeah. But there were some things Carrie Fisher's family would have had objections to this. But how, shall I say, correct is it to use footage of someone when they're not really there in the movie?
I mean, they could do the. She would have wanted this, a proper send off, whatever. It's a check for us. Also, you'll notice that as soon as a pop star dies, all of a sudden their music starts getting used in commercials. Keep that in mind whenever you hear a Whitney Houston song in a pill ad or traveling commercial or something. I think Discovery Card is using Whitney Houston.
Ray, Finn, and Poe all together now. And what are they doing? Bickering and arguing. Trying to be comical. Again, Marvel's doing it
When
better
they're
than you, Star
together,
Wars.
when those three are together, not a lot happens. Oh, here we go. The big line.
Look at Oscar Isaac's
Somehow
expression
Palpatine
right
returned.
here when he says somehow Palpatine returned. Internally, you can tell he's finished with these movies.
Oh, and is that our only line from Rose here? She
It's one of
disappears.
only.
Yeah.
And here we get, and there's another good actor wasted in these movies, Dominic Monaghan, aka Meriadoc Brandybuck in Lord of the Rings.
All right, so there's Billy Lord. Maybe her hair looks darker. I can't tell.
She's trying to look more like Leia in Return of the Jedi. Like mother, like daughter.
I liked that haircut. I thought Return of the Jedi was peak Leia.
I like it too. It looks natural on Billy.
Cocaine Leia, cocaine bear. Everything goes better with coke.
Why do you need to tell the audience somehow
All right, so she
Palpatine
kept those
returned? We already
books.
know.
It's very important that we sort of kind of remind people that those books were saved from the tree.
Oh, hi, Maz. Yeah, we remember you too.
It's sort of like cameo check-in moment, isn't it? Hey kids, remember this character? Maybe you don't remember their name, but remember this one? Only now do we figure out that we want to do this as the objective, instead of ever investigating this Exegol planet prior. I mean, you'd think these would be concerns of the Galactic Senate, right?
We're in this together. We're going together. Yeah, as you should be.
She had to say compressor. Oh my god. Finn does not have a character in this movie. He's there. He yells, Ray, I have to tell you something. And that is the extent of what he does. Rose
So
is
much
giving
so.
the I need to stay out of this movie speech. And, oh geez. The shoulder pad of friend zone right there.
And Kelly Marie Tran, I'm so sorry for the harassment you had to deal with online.
Yeah, I actually like her character. I really didn't have that much issue with her character, not like other people.
As do I. I have no gripe with her. I just hope to see the actress do, shall I say, be in
Isn't
a better
she-
series of movies now.
Didn't she rebound of sorts? Like she was in a series or a film of some kind. I think she had a bit of a rebound. Kind of better off than some of these other people.
As I was saying, the thing with Finn, so much so that later on in the movie we have a sidekick for Finn who's basically a female Finn. Jana, played
Yep.
by Naomi Aki, or whatever her name is. Whatever her character's name is. I think it's Jana.
I don't even know. Stormtrooper-esque raider gal.
I'm sure a lot of you listening who are fans of these Disney movies, you'll disagree. It's your right to do so, but I'm sorry, these characters just aren't memorable the way the original trilogy characters
Ray
are.
is crying there for no contextual reason within the narrative. You know, it's really a fourth wall cry, like this is goodbye Princess Leia cry. Goodbye to Carrie Fisher in a way. Oh, we got to reassemble the helmet. Now that I'm in charge and no one can tell me my helmet's stupid, I'll show them. Kind of looks like a Planet of the Apes type face right there, doesn't it?
Yeah, what? Got a CG monkey repairing the helmet.
We have an ape in Star Wars, yes.
As I was saying, I saw your review on the Andor TV series. I haven't watched it. I'm really not interested. What?
Everybody loves it except me, apparently. I did a poll yesterday. Should I watch Willow or Wednesday? The results are Wednesday, so I started watching Wednesday, and I'll have a video on that probably before I post this, to be honest with you.
Now, all this while throughout this meeting, they're discussing the whole thing. We have a spy amongst us. Look how nervous General Hux looks throughout this whole thing. Is that a giveaway that it's him later on? Spoiler alert.
I'm not so sure I can. Shouldn't the super Sith over here be able to suss this out? Especially if Hux doesn't have Force awareness.
And here's another good actor wasting these movies, Richard E. Grant, aka Dr. Seward in Bram Stoker's Dracula. He's arguably a more intimidating character than Hux is to begin with. But this whole scene eerily reminds me of the conference room scene in A New Hope where Vader force chokes Admiral Mahdi.
Yeah, but they take it to an almost comical place, don't they? It's scary when it's simple. When you throw the guy against the ceiling, I'm not so sure it's intimidating. Because it's like you're being choked. Does it do more to be choked and lifted higher?
Bigger really is better.
Well, you know, it's like there was this stupid show called Deadliest Warrior, and it was like they pit the knight versus the samurai, and it's like the broadsword kills you, but the katana kills you more. Victor, katana, and it's like, well, that doesn't make sense. Like, dead is dead.
And here
Now
we
we
go.
go to Star Wars Burning Man.
Basically, a Mardi Gras festival occurs only every 42 years. We get it. Just like the original Star Wars was 42 years ago from this movie.
And we'll just barge in. We do not have Lollapalooza tickets. Male alien telling story in alien language. Okay.
Yeah, this is basically like a Woodstock festival.
Kids disrespectfully laughing at male alien. They want to hammer home that this is a kid-friendly environment.
Okay, so I have human babies, not this, whatever, this baby CG elephant.
It's elephant anteater seal.
I have no name. I'm just Ray. Mm-hmm. We know it's coming.
Your Zoom meeting has begun. You have a 30-minute time limit. Kind of looks like he has a massive ass syringe sitting on that table.
Yes. Ray should be kind of sort of worried at this point. I can't just live my life normally, not knowing Kylo Ren here could interrupt me whenever he pleases.
You're watching me take a shower, aren't you? If you thought his helmet looked stupid before,
So they don't need Snoke to bridge their minds. And the whole thing about Snoke, they kill him off in Episode 8, and now the reveal is Snoke was really just a puppet controlled by Palpatine. So when Kylo Ren goes on Exegol and finds Palpatine, okay, first of all, I like how they build up the tension. It's like he's going into a haunted house, hearing Palpatine taunting him. But Palpatine was basically telling Kylo, I've been in your head the whole time. You thought that was Snoke? That was me.
and Calrissian is here because of what?
Because at this point, why not? Billy D, sorry they had to bring you back, buddy, but hey, I'm sure he got a hell of a paycheck. Same with Ian McDiarmid, as I keep saying.
You know, I think Billy D. Williams is actually older.
Then Ian McDiarmid, he is by 7 years.
Yeah. He was on Dance with the Stars, and this was some years back, and he could barely walk. Early exit.
What else have I seen him in, even? Let's see,
Luke
he was
and
in...
I were training to hunt an old Jedi hunter, or what? Like, see, this doesn't make sense, because it's like, at what point were you on the mission looking for this guy? Because how long do you think Luke was in hiding before the movie The Force Awakens started? And how long has this been since? So it's kind of like, hey, I'm waiting to meet up with you, Luke. We had plans, 4 years ago, whatever.
If anything, Lando should be joining the fight to avenge Han's death. They were best friends.
There's a CD hanging from the interior of this convoy thing he has going. I have no idea why.
And here we go, we're doing another airstrike, just like in The Force Awakens. Here's why these action sequences aren't as good as the other movies. Just a bunch of characters running. What did we have in Rogue One? Bunch of characters running. Running's not exciting unless you're Tom Cruise.
I think visually this looks a lot better than the prequel trilogy. Like the camera work is way more dynamic. It doesn't feel like they're in the confines of a set trying to keep the green screen thing going in a sort of rudimentary way.
They fly now. Yeah, we know. And look what this scene is doing. It's basically both the speeder bike chase and the pod race combined in one scene.
Yeah, they sort of, when they draft this out, they're like, it has to be like this, but we also need something like that. Why don't we put them together? They fly now. As if all stormtroopers going forward fly.
As I was saying,
You have, visually, from if you looked at stills, this looks better. From a narrative perspective, you have no idea where they're going, how much ground they covered, what they went through. Were they in a canyon? Were they not? Are they above it? Like, what is happening?
What else have I?
Like, seriously, like a second ago, you don't know who's where. There's no geography to this.
As I was saying, what else have I seen Billy D. Williams in? Let's see, Batman, 1989. It's like, aside
Mm-hmm.
from Harrison Ford, the original cast have done a few movies here and there, but arguably Harrison Ford came out the best star of them.
Well, no kidding. But I think Mark Hamill gets a lot of credit for voicing the Joker in animation and video games at this point. I'm trying to remember the name of this. The Bingalow Traveling All Stars. It's a baseball movie from the late '70s, I think, with starring Billy D. Williams. Trying to think what else. Just a few little odds and ends stuff here and there. He was familiar to people on TV, promoting, I think, Colt 45 beer.
Quicksand. Yeah, a little similar to Indiana Jones 4. And here it is, what you pointed out. Ray, I have something to tell you! And they sink. Ray
I
has
never
force
told you
powers.
that.
She could use the force to levitate them out of there, even.
I wonder if this would even be an issue for BB-8. Or he should sink faster because he doesn't have the surface area spread out. I don't know, it kind of depends how much BB-8 weighs. Rose is in this movie more than I remember, which, I mean, it's not saying a lot.
Oh, see, they're fine. There was just this chasm below the quicksand.
It's kind of on Poe to be frantic the whole movie, isn't it? Well, I mean, it's a flashlight. You're just looking for a way out, right? So I don't think that's a great gag.
It only takes a second to ignite the lightsaber. Does she really need the lightsaber for additional lighting? Be careful with that thing. You're in narrow corners. You brush the lightsaber, it jostles against the ceiling of all the
Poe
sand or
walked
whatever.
right by her
It could
like
crumble
it
what's in
wasn't a
front
threat.
of you.
I mean, I'm pretty sure this thing brushed up against Poe. Now we're going to come across more convenience. Sorry, but I can't translate stuff like this for reasons.
You know, while it's on my mind, Anthony Daniels playing C-3PO, he's the only actor in all 9 movies now to play his respective character. I remind you, it's Junisu Otamo playing Chewbacca and Jimmy V playing R2-D2 respectively in The Last Jedi and this movie.
Does does he get a lot of action over at like Galaxy's Edge or attractions having to do like a C-3PO voice for whatnot, guide people as they wait in line, all that sort of. This looks like a Klingon dagger, doesn't it?
Oh, definitely.
Anthony Daniels, he in anything besides Star Wars?
Nothing I can think of. But of course he's active, doing speeches, appearing in conventions, things like that. There was a Star Wars concert back in 2009 I attended, and he was there doing, hosting the presentation.
I thought you were about to say singing. They should turn. There should be a comical moment where he gets switched into like singing mode. You know, you would think something like that would have happened in these films, the way they're kind of geared.
That would be a comical moment.
I'm sorry, but I cannot translate this. However, I perhaps maybe can sing the phrase.
And what's the point of this scene here where they're confronted by this giant CG snake?
The whole point of this is to show that Rey has force healing powers. That's the entire point.
Exactly. So people who are strong in the Force now have the ability to heal wounds. Okay. Why couldn't Obi-Wan heal Qui-Gon in The Phantom Menace? Why couldn't Anakin heal his mother in Attack of the Clones? Why couldn't Luke heal Vader in Return of the Jedi? Explain that one to me, please, J.J. Abrams.
But that was so long ago. The Force has gone so far. You know, it's like the progress of science, the progress of the Force.
Say what you will about the prequel trilogy, the films still connect. The original movies connect. These movies don't connect. It's a mess.
Do you think that there should have been like a subplot of people rebelling against Rey because, you know, the sort of angry villager? Look at what she can do. She can destroy this whole planet. We have to do something. We can't have her here. You know, a little pushback against her. These are the Knights of Ren, right? Not that it honestly even matters.
It doesn't.
Guys, get together, strike a pose on this rock. Make it look like you're looking for something.
This long into the sequel trilogy, we gotta have something with a scene where they are present.
The movie
doing
in
something.
my head, the trilogy in my head is so much better than what we got. You know, with us seeing Kylo Ren turn bad. You know, having time to see what the Galactic Senate would have looked like under leadership of the Skywalker solos, right?
What we saw in How It Should Have Ended, their versions of 7, 8, and 9, that feels more appropriately canon than what we got in these movies.
Can you get spider webs inside a abandoned ship on a desert planet? Chewie, I know it's got to be hell for you to go walking around the desert, but can you go get Rey for us?
It doesn't do any good. Chewie gets captured just like that.
What do you think of this? I don't know, X-wing versus on-foot duel. It makes for trailer fodder, doesn't it? It's like, this will be cool to put in the trailer. And she's gonna do like a slow-mo flip, and it's gonna be like lightsaber, like take out the X-wing. It's gonna be so cool. I wonder if Chewie put up a fight at all.
Seemingly no. I remind you, this supposedly is the same Chewbacca who growled at Luke Skywalker at the thought of being in handcuffs. But he gets captured just like that by the Knights of Ren? Please.
The Knights of Ren are so badass, we don't even have to see them do stuff. People just comply. That's how amazing they are.
And here it is, what we saw in the teaser. Why doesn't Ren just use a blaster to shoot down Rey as he's coming towards her.
I don't know if this occurred where you are, but I try to keep tabs on what's popular with the kids via informal survey of their Halloween costumes. I did not see a single Star Wars Halloween costume, Halloween trick or treating 2022. Not a single one. Usually there's some kind of like Darth Vader, Darth Maul, very popular in my area. Maybe a Jedi robe thing. It's kind of easy to do. Nothing.
Here's my answer: nothing. It's either someone as a Jedi or someone as either Palpatine, Darth Vader, or Darth Maul. Maybe Count Dooku, maybe Boba Fett, maybe a
I only
Stormtrooper, but that's
saw
it.
we had like I don't know 70 kids or something, but I only saw one superhero. Oh, okay. I think there might have been like some Spider-Man stuff, but I only saw Hulk. As far as like core Avengers sort of things go, kind of surprising.
Oh, and I should mention, when I saw this in theaters, which was opening day, how many people were in the audience aside from me? Maybe two people. That's it. And that's
What
another.
was the day? What was the time of day?
It was around, I think, 10 a.m. Of course, maybe because all the kids were still in school. But
Yeah,
that's
see,
another thing.
that's the time that I went to the Force Awakens. Was that instead of the midnight showing, late Thursday, I went to the Friday, prior to noon type showing. It was mostly adults.
Yeah, here's something I forgot to mention in The Last Jedi. Because after that movie, the following year, we had Redemption. Avengers Infinity War, arguably a much better movie. Why? Because the Russos are better directors than you, J.J. Abrams and Ryan Johnson. That's why.
I mean, better how? It's like, do you want your left foot cut off or your right foot cut off? Like, I mean, I have problems with both of them. I
Well,
do. I think that okay, Avengers Infinity War, though not good, it's better than Endgame. Which I mean, uh, Endgame might be worse than this movie in part because it's so long and boring. This does not have long and boring attached to it.
and we had the beginning of Cobra Kai, which I'm loving. Yeah, there's some gripes I have with it, and I know you've talked about it in some of your videos. But
Wait, the Russo brothers are behind Cobra Kai?
no, 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 no. I'm just mentioning something else in general. Just something else we had throughout 2018 after this. But point being, when I saw this in theaters, that's how empty
This
the
is a
theater was
2019
because,
film, I believe.
yeah,
I think this is the end of 2019. So
that's
this
how
is after an Endgame was in theaters.
that's how empty the theater was because at this point, no one cares about this sequel trilogy anymore.
And this could have been like the last blockbuster for some time. People didn't know lockdowns were right around the corner.
Did anyone really think at this scene, oh my god, they killed off Chewbacca?
No, there's no way you're doing that in a wide shot. If it's happening, it's going to be like certain. How does one work in the pit? Like, do they need a ladder to climb down to those consoles?
Okay, nice effect there. Chewbacca growls at Hux and blows his hair.
Hux had a confidence about him. The beast flew with them, yeah.
And look at them walking together, Hux and Pride. Yeah, we're intimidating. Look at us. Walking side by side, our arms behind our backs. Yeah, that's intimidating, isn't it?
C-3PO, bigger role for him in this than the prior two films. Had bad luck on Kimiji. Some girl I don't really want to talk to anymore. It'll be awkward.
Awkward is putting it mildly with what's coming.
Another J.J. Abrams uh, alumni cameo. We've seen this kind of move before, the hide in the asteroid and then wait for him to leave. Boba Fett chasing the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah, we saw it both in The Empire Strikes Back and kinda sorta in Attack of the Clones. Dio, voiced by J.J. Abrams. Dio? What, like Ronnie James Dio?
I mean, I just about forgot about this droid.
What's Palpatine doing all this time when we're not seeing Palpatine? Just chilling out on his throne in Exegol? And we saw, whatever, Sith manufacturers working these things, working, what, Snoke puppets or Palpatine puppets? So how many clones of Palpatine are there?
See, I'm not even sure if we are certain that there are or have been any clones of Palpatine. But the fact that we have clones, and I mean, we've had clones before, but if Snoke can be a clone, still have Force abilities as a clone and all this, you do wonder if there are multiple Palpatines or not.
I think I'm a clone now. Another one of me is always hanging around.
Almost sounds like a Weird Al parody. Here we go. Daft Punk.
Yep, another good actress wasted. Kerry Russell.
Well, JJ knows how to waste her. She got killed off really quick in Mission Impossible 3.
As of the time of this recording, it's, what, December 1st, 2022? Look at the snow going on where they are. That, by the way, is what we have right now where I live. It's freezing cold
No
and
snow
snowing.
for me. In fact, tomorrow is supposed to be 70 degrees. We'll see if that changes. All grunting. In parentheses, love it.
What's Carrie's character's name? Zori Bliss? We never see her take the helmet off. She's basically like a good version of Zam Wessel from Attack of the Clones.
Is she? Does she have her mouth covered?
All we see is
I
her
was
eyes.
under the impression she was human. I mean, I just thought she was a human chick with, kind of rough mascara.
I mean, we saw Zam, her face, when she was disguised as a female. She was really an alien, but Zori, her character, all we see is when she swerves the facial mask, all we see is her eyes, if anything. There's another cameo. John Williams playing the bartender.
Yep.
His character's name, Oma Tress. which is maestro spelled backwards. I get it, because John Williams is the musical maestro, and indeed he is.
And then we have the little guy who has to. I mean, is it that helpful to have a tiny electrician engineer dude? I mean, he'd have a kind of tough time getting the tools together, wouldn't he? Got to find some way to reset C-3PO, right?
Are we even still interested in this movie at this point? Like I said, between The Last Jedi and this really were the first two Star Wars movies where I really legitimately said to myself, I'm bored. Taking one last look at my friends.
Kind of a
Do you
trailer
barely know these people?
speech over here. Yeah, it's weird. These guys have not been taking you along on adventures. Like, it would be more appropriate if BB-8 said these lines.
Kind of a side note, did you see right there where Zori was going up the stairs? Look at those stairs. They look very similar to the stairs in the Cloud City freezing chamber with the kind of orangish glow on them.
Oh, I'd have to look at that again. Probably won't get another shot of him here. I don't know. Powers down. Our little dude looks like he's got a condom on his head for his like hood, and then like a welding mask above it. It's kind of awkward, but yeah, if you see it again. What does the back of her head do? Like, just make it really uncomfortable to sit in a chair with this helmet on?
Does she need the helmet on at all times?
You need this token to have free passage. Like, they just keep introducing things, you know? And if I want to eat food, I do what? I have like another button I can push and the mouth comes down. Sort of a pairing up for Poe, right? They try to get all the guys some kind of romantic interest of sorts. This movie is in such a rush to tie up loose ends while also introducing new things. It's infuriating.
Yeah, what do I keep saying? They're hiring the wrong people to write and direct. On that note, remember, the original director was going to be Colin Trevorrow. That was another last-minute ditch effort. For whatever reason, they couldn't keep Trevorrow. Or maybe he thought to himself...
Did he do the 3 Jurassic Worlds or not?
I think so. He did one of them, even. He just figured, you know what?
Definitely the first one.
I screwed up Jurassic World. I'm not going to screw up Star Wars. I'm out. So they had to bring back J.J. Abrams as a last-minute desperation move. And Abrams didn't even want to come back to direct Episode 9.
Red eyes. He's got to be evil.
I remember seeing that in the teaser trailer. We're supposed to think, uh-oh, what's happening to 3PO?
You can probably answer this better than I could. Was 3PO fondly looked at by when you were a kid? Because When I was a kid, the interest was much more in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Yeah, I see what you're saying about those stairs, by the way. But they had like three C3PO and R2D2 had like cereal. They had a cartoon. Was he well liked, or was he just kind of annoying for kids? Because no one ever wanted to be C3PO if you were playing Star Wars or something, as far as I can tell.
It was both. The character was loved, but they also had their moments being irritating. C3PO and R2D2, they're basically the Laurel and Hardy of Star Wars. Look at it that way. That's what they're supposed to be.
Do you think? Oh, look at the condom on his head. I mean, come on, that's what that looks like, right? On the little guy. Do you think that Jar Jar Binks should have been brought into this in some way?
Hmm.
If anything, people could cheer on killing him, right?
Yeah, it would have been interesting. Could have gone either which way if they did.
You know those fan theories that Jar Jar is actually a Sith? Like he planned to turn the Senate over to Palpatine, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, that was the thing in Attack of the Clones. He gives Palpatine emergency powers. Okay, so the entire events of the original trilogy are all thanks to Jar Jar? Wow. Just wow.
But if you're a Jar Jar apologist, it doesn't matter because Palpatine's still around anyway. Kinda.
How heavily guarded is this destroyer? There should be people in a control tower. Please identify yourself.
Yeah, it's fairly vacant, isn't it? They're following those lockdown COVID protocols for production before it was cool. Just got wind out of it out of Wuhan, right?
And what are we doing here? We're basically rehashing the Death Star escape in A New Hope, rescuing the princess. We're doing the same thing here. We have to rescue Chewbacca. When we get to the action sequences in this movies, it doesn't feel exciting. It feels like I'm watching a video game cutscene. More of Rey being Rey. She can use a Jedi mind trick to trick these stormtroopers.
Did the design of the trooper helmets change any during these three films?
Not much. Maybe some modifications here and there.
I know in the originals they had troubles with the molds, and so you'd end up with different shapes of helmets through the films.
But in the original trilogy, we had, shall I say, different kinds of stormtroopers. There's the typical stormtroopers. There was the ones flying the X-wings. They had more of a grayish helmet. There were the snow troopers. They had a different
There
armor.
was the scout ones in on the forest.
Yeah, and the biker scouts. Those were the only modifications I remember.
Really do have half the mind to get a stormtrooper costume of some kind though, because it's you put on like a black leotard type thing and everything, all the armor attaches like Velcro. So it's, fairly accessible, I would think. Never have we figured out what that armor does exactly. The blasters always seem to put him down. It must have been good for something at some point. Well, how nice of them to have a scene for the boys to run around and blast stuff.
Yeah, how convenient. We're separate from Rey, so now all the boys can be useful.
I don't think we have any name stormtrooper cameo in this, like Daniel Craig in The Force Awakens. I could be mistaken. I haven't heard anything.
I can't be positive. I think we have Tom Hardy playing a stormtrooper.
Why is his bedroom so bright? Uh-oh, another Zoom meeting.
Is Ray gonna ask questions at all? What happened to your helmet?
Is that her staff in there? Next to Chewie's stuff, maybe?
They can even
I
battle
think
each
I
other
think
in
they
these Skype
have
meetings?
changed. I think they've changed young Rey actresses here, but young Rey in Force Awakens is, and I think that's her there, but she's on The Walking Dead. She's I forgot her name. They call her Little Ass Kicker, informally. Judith.
Imagine if it were Luke and Vader doing this in the original trilogy. I mean, we saw them communicate with each other in a similar fashion at the end of The Empire Strikes Back, but whatever they can to do in these movies, that bigger is better. When really it's the same thing, just less interesting.
And what is this like for anybody observing on the outside, you know? I think Ray's mom might be familiar. Is she Killing Eve? The show Killing Eve? I think that's the assassin broad.
It's something like that. The
Yeah,
actor playing
it's
her
like,
father was in something, I can't remember what.
yeah. People are not a big deal for very long in movies and TV at this point. Like in music, once you have a hit, you get all the hits. Like you're in the club. Whatever else, it's like, oh, so you just won the Emmy, whatever, okay, but your show's ending. You better churn out a movie quick. Oh wait, there's hardly any movies being made. So what do you do?
Uh-oh, what's gonna happen?
What you? I wanted to become a good guy at the end.
But as we see, no, he doesn't really care. He just wants Kylo Ren to lose.
See, I'm looking at these stormtroopers and I'm seeing this sort of chrome notch in around the chin, and I don't recall seeing that before. Like they have a bolt on each side. Are you guys sure this isn't a trap? This is General Hux. Been looking forward to this. I just really hate Kylo Ren. For reasons. It's not fair. I was kind of the boss, and now he's the boss. Why'd he get the promotion over me?
And let's do something to rip off the original trilogy even further. What's coming up right here? Rey is Palpatine's granddaughter. That's why Rey is so powerful?
Magic grandpas, man. It makes Star Wars go around.
And we're rehashing The Empire Strikes Back, the Luke, I'm your father moment. Luke looks down at the chasm, thinks of jumping. Rey's thinking the same thing. I'm going to jump off this platform and tumble into space. And hold on, is that a wide open platform for a ship to land in? So it's an open window into space? What? How is no one getting sucked out into space?
I mean, well, they're in possibly floating in the at the planet there. Like, isn't the town below? Are they in the atmosphere?
I think so. Otherwise, how would it be stable in that hangar bay?
But we haven't really fully explored the shields in Star Wars. Because there does seem to be something about them being able to enter through the shield without having to clear the hangar, right?
Do you see what I'm getting at with that one question? What?
Yeah, but I think that they might be, in the atmosphere here. And also, evidently, there's no heat transfer when it comes to these ships. I mean, I don't know. That may have cooked them. Because look, you see mountains over there, so they're low. There's clouds, so I don't think there's really that issue, She's not in open space.
All right, fine. Explanation enough. Oh, what a send-off for General Hux.
This trooper on the left here got a red shoulder pad. It used to be orange, indicated like squad leader, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, there was our spy. We won't be seeing any more of him.
Just wait. We'll have General Hux coming soon to Disney+.
But Hux got off easy. If this were the original trilogy, he'd be force choked, or Emperor Palpatine could fry him with force lightning as punishment. That was a simple execution.
Right there, Finn's like, I mean, I've got a chick, but I kind of want this chick. What I really need is a third chick. Is she not a Jedi already?
She was a Jedi from the word go.
Yeah, she was a Jedi in The Force Awakens, as best I could tell. Here we go. Is she in anything? Am I supposed to recognize her from something else? I don't know. Hey, you gonna watch Willow on Disney Plus?
I will. I haven't gotten around to it, but I will. Like I said, I love the movie. We should do a commentary on that sometime soon. It's on Disney+.
See, my thinking is that Disney is kind of like, look, we got to have something to compete with the Rings of Power, the House of the Dragon. What do we got? What property do we have that could compete with that? Well, we have Willow. I guess we can make that our foil to those efforts at HBO Max and Prime Video.
Okay, hold on a second. First of all, Rey's holding up this dagger, like doing measurements.
She's
like
doing the
right
Goonies thing here, is what she's doing.
I'm watching the Goonies now. That's thing one. Thing two, this is what's left of the second Death Star when it blew up. What? How are bits and pieces of it still intact after being blown up? It should be blown to Kingdom Come. Nothing left.
So this dagger would be made after finding after this location has been established, essentially, right? Then someone's like, there needs to be some kind of way to cryptically tell people where this device is, and this is the best I could do. We have to make a knife, and we need people standing in just the right spot. I bought it more in the Goonies, to be honest with you.
Am I right? How are bits and pieces of this Death Star still intact after it blew up?
I mean, it blew the hell up. And somehow, even if pieces of it were this size, then it crashes. What are the odds that it's retaining any of its structural integrity, that you can walk around inside of it, that it's still shapened like this,
How long has it been there in the ocean? How long has it been since Return of the Jedi, where we are in this movie?
What are these creatures? Furry horse bison?
Something like that.
I'm wondering when the hell's more Mandalorian coming around. I guess they're able to postpone that by just having all these other Star Wars shows. You were First Order? Me too. It was totally not a choice for me either.
Yeah, because we couldn't have Finn and Rose date, so we have to have a different female character who's more up his alley.
Rumor is it's the Chinese market, not into that whole interracial romance. That's the rumor.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Okay, her headband / goggles. You see those providing any function?
No, not really.
Because I don't think you can see through them, She's like, wait a minute. Does the Resistance have a dental plan? Because I could fix this gap in my teeth. Could really use that. Somebody wasn't keeping an eye on Rey. Of course she's going to do shit by herself. If I was Rey, I would have just, flew myself over there. Probably would have been the easier way to go about this.
Instead, she's operating this makeshift hang glider in the ocean, kind of like...
I mean, I'll give them this. It looks pretty good, doesn't it? As water sees effects here and stuff. It's about as good as I've seen.
Yeah, it's kind of like James Bond in Die Another Day, when he was getting away after the... whatever, when the villain was using that heat wave
it looks
beam.
A lot better than that, but... Die Another Day. That's not a phrase I need to hear again this year. No, you know what you just did? You got the Madonna song stuck in my head. Guess I'll die another day.
Yeah, a question about that.
I would take, you know what? I would take Die Another Day over what became of the Daniel Craig Bond films. I would take that.
Same here. But with the theme song, why in God's name would you auto-tune Madonna? She can actually sing. She's been doing it for years. She's quite good.
She's not like a great vocal talent, but she's capable of singing. So that part a little mystifying. But the real trendsetter when it comes to the auto-tune vocoder type voice, Cher. That do you believe in love after life after love or whatever it is? That is so auto-tune and in 1998. And to this day, we are copying that.
Why would you auto-tune Sherry then? She can sing.
That I don't know. I would think people would assume Cher could. It would be like, why would you auto tune Whitney Houston? Like that would really make no sense, right?
Yeah. Anyway, back to the movie. Oh, here's where Ray's
Ray
training is
climbed
coming
around
in
for
handy.
a bit. Okay, yeah. I mean, it's like no real sense of danger here. We know she's not going to slip and hit her head and have to get rescued.
This is what's left of the Emperor's chamber.
I don't think her training came in handy here. This is her scavenging around on Jakku. She's used to this. Some of that glass didn't break. Now that is astonishing.
And off topic for a minute, why is Disney casting these British actresses left and right? Daisy Ridley, Felicity Jones, Emily Clark.
In part, when you make a film outside the U.S., you have to have some of the actors from that country in the cast. Thus, you do, for a time, you saw a lot of Canadians in things because they would want to shoot up in Canada.
I'm sorry, what is it that's memorable at the Rogue One characters?
I don't remember the names of.
I
know that I don't
trolling me
like
because I don't
Andor.
remember
That's it.
Andor's character, or barely remember him because I don't want to watch this series.
I remember him being a douche because his buddy hurt his arm, so he shot him. It was like, if only Ray was like, "Oh, Poe, you can't come with us," just shoots him in the back, like for the hell of it.
Yeah.
Like, how are you supposed to get behind a character who does that to a fellow rebel?
And Jen going, "I rebel." That wasn't even in the final film.
Oh, it wasn't? See, I only saw the Rogue One once, and that was enough for me.
Okay, we're ripping off The Empire Strikes Back,
Now look.
where Luke goes in the cave and encounters Darth Vader.
Evil Ray is hot.
Am I the only one who finds Sith Rey more attractive?
Yeah, I just said so, man. Like, Sith Rey can get it.
Especially when she hisses like a cat like that.
Yeah, but her face kind of transformed a little, didn't it? Like, it looked to me like they CGI'd it up in a fashion. Of course, Kylo had the same idea.
Yep, there it was. Short but sweet. Sith Rey's hot, man.
It took me a little while to fully realize that Kylo here. God, why am I not remembering the guy's name? He's really the best actor of the cast in these. Adam Driver,
my friend. Adam Driver.
He's definitely the strongest actor.
He's trying with the material he's given, but these movies are a mess.
You'll never find it now. I don't know. I mean, I kind of feel like if I had a lightsaber, I could probably poke somebody with it effectively enough. They wouldn't be able to dodge me for 10 seconds. But I'm no Jedi. That is not Carrie Fisher walking away, I can guarantee you that. You see the back of Carrie Fisher's head here. It is almost certainly not Carrie Fisher.
And here we go, another protracted Rey and Ren duel. This time in the rain. Above this makeshift bridge. Pounding ocean.
It would appear, you're seeing this in the trailer. This is the final fight, right? This has got to be. Look how dramatic of a set piece this is.
Yeah, because dueling on Mustafar between Anakin and Obi-Wan wasn't epic enough. What can we do here? Just before the tidal wave knocked Finn down or whatever, he was just a minute away from shouting, "Ray!"
Yeah, he needed to tell her something. I mean, look, if you can jump this far, you may as well be able to fly, right? Why not fly out to this location? To John Boyega's credit, he's doing the American accent. I don't understand why so many of the other British people don't put in the effort. And I think his American accent's pretty spot on. Like, it doesn't sound like he breaks out of it.
Well, quite a few British actors are good at that, doing American accents. Remember Julian Glover in Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade?
Well, you see, I feel like a lot of them land parts by they go, "Hi, my name's John Boyega. I'm going over here," yeah, and then it's like, "Oh, hey, and now I can sound American." And then the casting director is really impressed by that, and then therefore they get opportunities.
Bob,
If you're American, you don't do as much acting to be American.
let's see, who else? Bob Hoskins, he was always good at doing different accents other than his
Yep.
real British accent. In fact, when he played Smee and Hook, I think that was the only time we actually heard his actual British accent.
Yeah, I don't think I've heard him British in anything else.
And there's Lee Evans, Tucker, and There's Something About Mary. That was the whole thing. He was supposed to be an American faking a British accent. Really, it was the other way around. Lee Evans is British. He was faking the American accent.
What do you think about the music here? Is Williams kind of phoning it in with whatever was on the cutting room floor?
Yeah, it's whatever's memorable in these movies is only what's recycled from the original trilogy.
In the original trilogy, the music had so many beats that accentuated the action, and here you hardly notice it. It's in the background. Something dramatic's happening.
All it took was this, a Skype phone call from Mommy to make Kylo Ren turn good. That's all it took this whole time, and this is how Leia
But
dies, my friends.
you kind of wonder how Rey didn't notice this too, since she's so tight with Leia. I would think they would both be hit by this at once, right?
What a send-off. What a send-off. Rest in peace, Carrie Fisher.
Well, she does disappear, doesn't she? I think she vanishes.
Nice going, Rey. You effectively killed Leia, too.
You think that by stabbing Kylo, she killed Leia?
If they were, I don't know, feeling each other in the Force or whatever, that Skype chat, whatever they were doing. Oh, and look here. Rey's using the Force to heal Kylo. Paging Dr. Rey. Paging Dr. Rey. This woman would be so valuable in the real world, it's unbelievable. What she could do. She knows how to figure out a way out of any scenario. She always knows what to do. Damn, she could make my life easier, let me tell you.
I think she should have been able to repair his jacket there also. That would have been extra impressive.
She is the greatest Mary Sue of all time. She she is aside from what you pointed out earlier, getting blasted in the arm here and there, hitting the wrong switch.
No, I
or
don't even
whatever.
think Mary Sue applies to her. It's like she is the standard bearer. It's like Jump the Shark. Oh, you're just the next Rey. Like you're the next Rey Skywalker, the Rey Palpatine.
Where's she going?
Oh, here we go. Here's the disappearing act.
Who cried during this scene?
Were people crying in the theater? That you and the two other people?
Not that I could tell, no. And I'm a big weepy baby. I watched Home Alone last night. That gave me tears.
I thought for
Just a
sure
family
her body
reunion.
disappears. Did I miss it, or is it coming up?
Well, we had to kill off someone in this movie. First Han, then Luke, then Leia. But with Leia, she already is effectively dead.
Oh, it gets worse. We're gonna bring back Daddy Solo, but his hair is noticeably longer.
It's not just that. Wait until we see him. It's coming up. Right.
Daddy, and you got a bit of a unshaven look about you.
Harrison Ford didn't even shave. That's how little he cared to come back and play Han Solo one more time.
I was busy shooting a Disney Plus movie. Was it like Call of the Wild or something? He might have been. There was like a CGI dog that was with him.
Yeah, I remember
Probably about
seeing.
times of this.
I remember seeing that in the trailers when I saw this, along with Top Gun Maverick, which was delayed to this year.
Yeah, Tom Cruise might have delayed himself out of an Oscar. Because now all signs point to Brendan Fraser getting Best Lead Actor, even should Pete Maverick be nominated. I mean, that's kind of a long shot in itself, but we only have like 5 movies this year, so somebody's got to get nominated, right?
Not to go off topic, but did you see Top Gun Maverick?
Oh yeah,
What'd you think of it?
I did a video. Nobody watched it. I liked it quite a bit, but I think there's more CGI in it than people realize, and that they're putting on. Yeah, there are some real planes, but there's also a lot of not real stuff happening too. Overall, it's pretty good, but there is. I think the biggest flaws with it are the persistence of trying to remind you of the original film. Like the opening makes no sense. The planes taking off on the carrier makes sense in the first film because they're situated in that ocean. The idea is that we're now watching the guys in the air that were taking off in the opening. Here we just cut to Maverick's got to do his test flight, not anywhere near this carrier.
Yeah. It was fun for what it was.
Of course, and there's other kind of bullshitty things like Goose's son dresses like Goose, plays the same song. The memorberries are a little much at times.
Oh, and look at this. Emperor Palpatine as another hologram.
In case you forgot that the Emperor was in this movie. It's been a while, right?
Look at the evil glow in General Pride's eyes there. We could have had his character be the General Hux this whole time. He's far more intimidating.
Was he even in the previous movies?
Nope, just this one.
See, that's what makes it so out of left field. Because you're watching this and you're like, who's this guy? I guess he's in charge now, but doesn't really have a character other than guy who's in charge now.
Here's what we knew was coming in this movie. They're going to blow up more planets.
Oh, we got a girl on this ship. She said fire. So now Star Destroyers are capable of Death Star destruction.
Was there a lens flares in this movie? I don't believe I've seen one yet. Or did I miss one?
No, I think it's really been toned down a lot. I don't think I've seen them. I don't think there were that many in the prior two. Well, certainly not the last one, but The Force Awakens had some, I believe. But it's no Star Trek 2009. You're acting general now. We're doomed. Somebody should have said that. Like with Poe, with Poe the general, we're doomed.
Yeah, when usually that's 3PO's line.
Yeah.
Who else says that kind of sort of well? Max Casella when he plays Vinny Del Pino. I remember he did the voice of Daxter in the Jack and Daxter games. He even says that at one point. I am doomed.
Appropriate for Lando to be here. I mean, it's sort of in the got nothing else to do category. Do you think Billy D. Williams is sporting a hairpiece? Because let me tell you, that is some hair for a guy who's like 80. Cone face. Now that's a name for the droid.
Back on Island Planet.
What is this accomplishing?
Oh, what are you gonna do now, Rey? Go live in hiding like Luke did? Make the same mistake?
I wasn't paying that much attention, I guess. She took Rey's TIE Fighter. She took Kylo's TIE Fighter and left him on in the water. And then here's redemption line for Luke, you know.
A Jedi's weapon deserves more respect.
Everybody's like all happy that it's people are acting like it is in his answer to the writing of Rian Johnson, but I think that it's his character arc makes sense. You know, he returns to being a Jedi by the end, so now he's. It makes sense for him to act this way.
Yeah,
because he ran away from being a Jedi, then he turns around and wants to be a Jedi again right at the end.
Yeah, but it's too little, too late. The damage has already been done. This movie, all throughout, is J.J. Abrams. What's the word? Playing damage control for what happened in Episode 8.
Do you think that the Force ghosts kind of congregate in this area? Like they kind of get together on the island, they have poker night. All right, kid, gotta go. Gotta grab me some of that Force Ghost blue milk. See ya. Leia's saber, as if that's a thing. We're gonna make it a thing now, aren't we?
Yeah, because we have to have something in there to explain something of the previous events leading up to this trilogy. Something to make us feel
this saber, or is it possibly? Hold on, no. All right, now I'm confused. Leia's saber is blue or not? The saber that she had that was Luke's was blue, right? So, but now he's got the green one in the flashback. I suppose maybe it could have made more sense if he gave her the green one and be like, "Hey, Leia, train with this green saber." If that's what we're doing.
Yeah, then that wouldn't have brought up some confusion as to, wait a minute, is this the blue lightsaber that fell out of Luke's hand at the end of Empire? The Empire Strikes Back? How did Maz get it? We still don't know. What happened to a good question for another time, JJ?
Oh, another time. Maz Kanata coming to Disney Plus this fall.
Instead, here we go. We're gonna... Hey, remember this from The Empire Strikes Back? Luke's gonna use the Force to levitate the X-Wing out of the water, and we're gonna repeat the same music. They should have just called this Star Wars Nostalgia the movie.
In fairness, they did have this set up in the previous movie. We did see the X-Wing underneath.
And remember, he used a piece of one of the wings for the door to his hut. Did he attach it back on?
They're going to have to work on that. I cannot force weld.
Yeah, it looks like it is intact.
I do like that it is the OG style X-Wing instead of these newer ones. Like, you know, they retain the continuity there instead of acting like all X-Wings look like this now.
Oh, no problem. Restore C-3PO's memory.
Yeah, that fake out sad death thing that never really amounted to anything.
Dio has electrical outlets just like R2 did. Wow, these droids really are there for convenience, aren't they?
I need to look up Anthony Daniels' net worth. Because if they need a guy to be skinny and fit into a robot for the rest of his life, I might just be up for that task. So important that I put on the helmet, right?
Well, you never know. All you need is that one roll that lands you big time, and then you're a star forever.
Well, I'm saying Rey's wearing that helmet in the X-Wing.
I'm getting ahead of myself, but I don't know if now.
You know, because all helmets fit everybody. I'm sure that Mark Hamill's head is the same size as Rey's here.
Here we go, another battle plan meeting. We've done it twice, let's do it thrice. But
I'm the general.
I don't know if now or later, like towards the end, would be the best time to mention this. Is this really a good final conclusion for Star Wars if we're going to make the saga complete with Return of the Jedi
as you're watching this,
no
does it
even
feel like it's even leading to this battle?
Not really.
Like, it just kind of like, now's the time where we have a battle.
When this came out before I finally saw it in theaters, which really wasn't that long, I resisted the urge to go on YouTube, listen to, or watch videos on it. But it wasn't a long way, because when I saw the movie, critics hated this movie. It was panned left and right. Even Jeremy Jahns hated this. What does that tell you? Yeah,
there
sure.
certainly are points you get with critics for doing certain things, but after a while, you can't quite you can't cash in those favors endlessly.
Yeah, people who got their glory bad-mouthing the prequel trilogy and who got so many hits and so many followers, then they see how bad these movies are, and now they realize how much Disney screwed up.
Well,
sure,
see, I think part of the issue, like, if you're a critic, you have to give The Force Awakens a good review if you want to get invited to the next movie or you want to get that press screener. When it's the end of the trilogy, now you can say whatever you want.
You can make the argument...
What are you going to get out of it, right?
You can make the argument the holiday special is still the worst thing to come out of Star Wars. It's bad, but it knows what it is. And if they redid the holiday special using the cast from these movies, oh my god, would it be panned.
Okay, the holiday special, it is not good. However, it has Luke, Leia, and Han, I mean, they're in the same scenes together at times, aren't they? Like, I mean, it actually has them in it. That's kind of the mind-blowing part. Like, imagine you had the biggest movie ever, and like the next Christmas, you're going to have those actors on TV in a special. That's not something that very common, you know?
We never had one scene of Luke, Han, and Leia together in these movies. Not one.
Life Day, does it ever come up elsewhere in Star Wars? I'm thinking maybe it comes up in the Solo movie. Because they have to talk to Chewie about some things, whatever. Maybe it comes up in one of the Disney Plus series. You know, it's like a throwaway line. We're wearing more red over here. All right, what is the guy's name that is gunning for Lando's ship? I can't believe I forgot his name. You know who I'm talking about, right?
Richard E. Grant, his character.
No, he survived the first 3 Star Wars films. He was on Endor during the celebration. He
Wedge?
survived the death. Wedge, yeah.
Oh, I get it. Gunning, like wanging it.
Well, he's working like a gunner seat, isn't he, on the ship?
Okay, I kind of sort of like the build-up here when we're approaching where Palpatine's hiding out in Exegol. The lightning flashes, and earlier when we hear Palpatine's voice, it's like entering a haunted house almost. They do whatever they can to make Palpatine
Where's this
scarier.
lightning coming from? Like, aren't they underneath a structure?
Is Palpatine using the Force to harness the lightning?
Like, there was this big like pyramid structure, but they go underneath it, and then somehow there's lightning visible.
I wouldn't put it past him.
Do you think that the lightning is Palpatine trying to strike these ships, maybe? Is that what you're suggesting?
It could be, especially with knowing what's coming up.
Oh, it gets dumb because they do like this let's board it with horseback raid. Like they go a little pirate with this. Like we're boarding ships now. They never mention Finn's rank, do they? Captain Finn, nothing like that.
Does he have a rank even?
I mean, I guess he could. I mean, they were throwing general around pretty liberally in Return of the Jedi.
God, how far into this are we even? How long's it been? Almost 2 hours? Or almost an hour? Or over a half hour?
About an hour 45. Close to that. Here we go. Mount up. And BB-8 is keeping pace.
All these Star Destroyers have to do is tilt one way or the other, and they'll fall over like dominoes.
Oh, there's Rose. Does she get to shoot somebody? What is BB-8 going to accomplish? So we have sort of here is like Sith throne room with an audience.
An audience
Thrones are so in.
These weird
like
disciples
they have like
all over.
yeah, well they have like stadium seating for the whatever they're doing. Got to have a cool throne though, because Game of Thrones, we need to keep up with that. So cool ass throne, lots of spikes. I'm really baffled by the motivation here. In Palpatine, he's like, I want you to kill me or not. Now you get to be the leader, but actually I wanted to trick you so that I could take you out, and then that makes me questionably more powerful, or does it not? Like,
As am I. Palpatine wants Rey to kill him so he can put his spirit into. I can't say
I
this
don't
without making
know.
it sound dirty. He wants his spiritual essence into Rey. I
Well,
can't say
also
this without making it
he's
sound
kind of
dirty.
being he's got this puppeteer thing going on. Like he is not really he hasn't used the force healing on himself, so he's had to use science to get about. Kill me and my spirit passes into you. Okay, deal. I came here to kill you. Sounds good. Except I have to kill you when you don't want me to kill you. Then I've really killed you, right? Like, the logic here, I never really understood that about the Star Wars Jedi lore aspect of you strike me down in fear, and this is now you're just like me, but are you really? Or are you still have your wits about you and you're still a good guy? Like, how certain are we of this effect?
Okay, disregarding this whole cloning thing for a moment, if this really is the same Palpatine in Return the Jedi, what? He was sucked into the remains of Optimus Prime to keep him alive? He had juice stuck into him to keep him alive? Like, someone please explain how this happened.
And
You
who's
can't
going to the
explain it,
efforts to
JJ.
do this?
Anyone who
It
wrote this
looks
movie,
like
you
it's a
cannot
one-man
explain it.
operation. He doesn't have like helpers over there doing stuff, but he has people available to pilot the Star Destroyers. Like,
He has Sith alchemists to. Again, back to the cloning thing. What? Again, so many more questions than there are answers.
yeah, it's supposed to just confuse you into keeping your eye on the next thing coming up. You're just supposed to forget about it. She's staying with you, man. Oh, we're about to lose one of these guys. Forgot he's a buddy of J.J. Abrams, so that's why he's been an X-wing pilot in these movies. One of the only notable deaths of a character you may or may not know the name of.
Yeah, and I think one of those actors even died of COVID the following year.
I'd have to look that up. I don't recall that happening.
Yeah, Andrew Jack, look him up. He was also one of the voice dialects of this movie. Dialogue coaches. He was the general with the gray hair and the beard. Yeah, I know. He's
Weak,
barely
like your
rememberable.
parents. No, my parents were strong. Define strong. I don't know.
How is Palpatine Rey's grandfather? Is Palpatine's son Rey's father?
Or is it the daughter?
Or is it the daughter is Rey's mother? Who. How did Palpatine have a child?
No, you know what? I think you're looking at that the wrong way. Remember, Anakin didn't have a dad. It's possible that Palpatine's son or daughter was so amazing they just were born out of the Force. I know that sounds stupid, but it's not something unprecedented in Star Wars. It's so sad. My team's losing, but we don't think that's actually going to happen, do we? What do you think about the Kylo Ren face turn here, where it's like, I'm a good guy now? Not fully motivated to be a good guy, other than he seems to be digging Rey, I guess.
What can I say? It is what it is, and I saw it coming. Again, that's the problem going into these movies. It's predictable.
But the last one wasn't that predictable. It not in a particularly good way, but it wasn't predictable. I'm somewhat surprised that we don't see more like a return of Captain Phasma for just the hell of it somehow. Because it kind of seems like they really misdid her character.
And this device Palpatine is on too, it's like this, I don't know, makeshift medical doohickey to keep him alive.
People like this move out of Kylo Ren here where he's like, I've got a lightsaber now, like shrug, and then he has a lightsaber. I do kind of like this though, that she's able to like gift him a lightsaber for this fight. Because it's something they've established with their Skype chat, right? So
And when Kylo does that shrug, it's similar to when Han does that shrug when they take
yeah,
over the bunker.
it's sort of like a, hey, I just work here, pal. Though I don't know why the Knights of Ren would be fighting Kylo. What has he done that has, going into this, have they thought that he's turned good? We have orders to bring in Kylo Ren. I don't really see why.
Or why would they believe he really is turning good? Kylo keeps going back and forth. He doesn't know what he wants to be.
Oh, here we go. Come on, shrug. Eh. And then yeah, now we're doing the musical chairs with the lightsabers. We have too many blue lightsabers. Why couldn't one of these have been green? We're familiar with a green lightsaber. We haven't been making use of it in these three films. This could have been a chance. Now you two should make out. Yes. Oh man, we should have forced him first, you know? Like, we could have torn him apart. Like we did that lightsaber. And wouldn't that be the move? Oh, look at that. See, he's got, okay. He's getting power back somehow. Like his fingers rejuvenated the skin over the bones.
Yeah, he's like Shang Tsung in Mortal Kombat. He's sucking their essence away, sucking their life energy to become young again.
It's confusing because it's kind of like, how much sucking do you have to do for their like soul to be gone? Because look at whatever's leaving them, they're, relatively perfectly fine afterward, right? It's not like she looks 40. I've sucked your youth away, your vitality, but not really. You had plenty to share. Here we go. There's a guy going down. Alpha 3 is down. Forgot the guy's name. Maybe one of JJ's buddies. How'd you like to be the dumbass piloting a Y-Wing in this circumstance, man? He wouldn't last long at all. Oh, you know what you don't see here is those stupid magnetic bomb ships popping up in this fight. I don't think we spotted any of those.
Nope.
Turns out everybody wanted to join the resistance.
Wow.
Now, sometimes when you fill a screen up with enough random ships, and I think it happened maybe in the last movie, but we didn't bring it up. Somebody just like puts like their shoe or something. I think it might have even happened in Return of the Jedi. Like there's a bit of a reoccurring theme where somebody just puts like a random object in as a ship in the background. There's Wedge, the real hero.
Wow, here we go.
Wedge shows up, you know shit's getting done.
Redoing the space battle. 10 times bigger, 10 times better. 10 times less exciting. There, fixed it for you.
This could have been a good opportunity to redeem those magnetic ships, you know? Have them deliver the final blow, whatever. You know, make it seem like, no, kids, those things really don't suck as much as they looked like they were gonna. Zori and Condom Head. Finally, I can walk. I still look like shit. But my robes have turned crimson.
What is the point of all these Sith acolytes? They're just like a
No
chorus.
idea.
They're worshipping Palpatine.
What do they get out of it?
Nothing. They just blow up in the end too. Ooh, that's gonna hurt.
But
How does
but we
Kylo
know that
survive
falling
that
to your
fall?
death doesn't matter anymore. Yeah. As long as you don't have a lightsaber stuck in your chest, you should be fine.
Ooh. If nothing else, this is a historical moment for these movies. Just the giant, whatever, sound effect for this Force lightning. Lightning with my hands. Destroy everything
Now,
in sight in space.
can he only do this after he sucked on Rey and Kylo? Now he has enough juice. He got the voltage up.
I think that's exactly what it is.
It was a trap. I wanted to get my Sith lightning more powerful. Okay, now I haven't really wrapped my head around that. Does Wedge not survive? Was that his ship there getting lit up?
Let's see.
Because
I'll watch
it had
carefully to see if he comes back.
it had Calrissian's other buddy on there, who I think may have died shortly before this movie came out.
But here,
The guy who played him.
here we are. All the voices of Jedi past.
Yeah, they even get Qui-Gon in on the action.
Is Yoda there? We're with you, Rey. Even though I can come
Says
down
young
and just
Obi-Wan.
blast him with lightning.
Anakin Luminara, I don't know who that is. Mace, know that one. Aliela, don't know. Says Yoda. Qui-Gon, ooh, that's the one that kind of gets the most interesting, you know, because you expect to hear Yoda, right?
You know what? Forget the whole thing of Anakin Skywalker being the chosen one. Here's our hero, everyone. Forget Anakin Skywalker. Forget Luke Skywalker. Here's our hero, Rey.
We all sacrificed just specifically for you. It all led up to this.
That's what I predicted going into this movie. It's not going to be Kylo. It's not going to be Force Ghost Luke. It's not going to be Force Ghost Anakin. Who's going to take Palpatine down? Rey.
Well, I mean, yeah, by the time you get to this, you know Rey and Rey alone is going to do the bad guy killing, you know? Like, she's going to be the one that saves the day.
And is this going to kill Palpatine for good? So Palpatine can't die until his granddaughter kills him?
I'm concerned about Wedge's safety. Keep an eye out for him. Pretty sure his ship got hit with lightning. It didn't explode. Remind her of being a scavenger.
I am all the Sith. And I am all the Jedi. Uh-huh. All the montage of lines from other movies you could throw in there, too. And this, too. All Rey needs is a second lightsaber. That was all Mace
Yeah,
Windu
this is
could have used.
confusing. I don't quite get how there's a difference here. Like, why not aim somewhere else? Spread out these lightning fingertips a little bit. He dies gruesome here. I think that is to make sure you know this version of him is dead.
It's like the
Like, leave there no doubt.
It's like the face melting when they open the Ark in Raiders of the Lost Ark.
I think that's what they had in mind, yeah, because J.J. Abrams doesn't come up with original concepts. He has to be like, what did Steven do?
And there we go.
Oh,
Destruction
they sure
everywhere.
took their sweet time on that ship, didn't they?
Just boom.
Plugging things in.
How does Rey survive
BB-8
that?
does stuff. New general going down. Oh yeah, they had this stupid thing about if you take out the command ship, the rest of them can't do anything for shit. Like, that makes any sense at all. Why would you design your fleet to operate that way, right? It's about as dumb as in most of the mythology around dragons. It seems like whenever there's a dragon, it's like if you kill the mother dragon, all the other dragons die. You kill the lead, you kill the OG vampire, everybody else turns into a human. Okay, maybe I'm mistaken here. Maybe is Wedge on the Falcon with Lando?
Let's just wait. Let's see if he pops up at the very end at the victory when everyone's hugging each other.
I don't think we see him again. I don't think he is. I thought he was just in the chair for that one day. Oh no. Is this Finn being force sensitive right here? His connection with Rey is so strong. What killed her exactly?
Rey used all of her power to destroy Palpatine. All the destruction, it sucked away her life force. Kind of like Luke.
I mean, she
used up all her batteries.
Her life sucked on for a bit, but I mean, we don't really seem to understand what that does to anybody. I mean, Kylo was sucked on for just as long, and he climbed out of the abyss.
Well, we have to do something to rip off Return of the Jedi, where Vader redeems himself to destroy Palpatine and save Luke, but we have to not quite rip it off, too, at the same time. So let's do something here. Okay,
so I saw you do this to me, so I think I picked up how to do it. So let's give this a shot.
And how funny would it have been if they just kept doing this back and forth? Kylo reuses the Force to revive Rey and dies. Rey uses the Force to revive Kylo and dies, and back and forth and back and forth.
No, you have it. Well, we can't share it. You know, this is his moment of holding the door for Rose on the Titanic.
Or does he really need to use all of what's left in him to revive Rey? Just use whatever's left to revive Rey, and then...
Fittingly, or... shoot, what's this chick's name? I forget the actress, whatever. Daisy Ridley. Her role right before becoming Rey was playing a corpse on a British drama. So here she is, full circle. Daisy Ridley, you think she's kind of disappearing in that sort of like Mark Hamill way? Like somebody else will get the roles from this franchise, but not the main hero?
In some ways, yes. Or what a thing it would have been if Rey actually does die. Now Kylo Ren's kind of sort of redeemed. He has to go back and join the Resistance. Everyone would be hostile to him. Or maybe they wouldn't welcome him back. He has to carry
That would
that
be
weight on
more
him for the
exciting.
whole the rest of his life.
She is a Palpatine. This was the destiny for the Palpatine, right? He's the Skywalker Solo. He should be the one that, if we're keeping that lineage history thing going, he should be the one that walks away. But now he's made some mistakes and he has to atone for it. I think that would have been better. I think, though, as soon as you see him revive her, it's going to result in a trade-off with him dying. Like, we weren't going to get a happy ending here. It's going to be somewhat Romeo and Juliet.
Nope, he sacrifices himself for Rey.
Now he disappears. Now
Kylo
I think
disappears.
this is when... Yeah, here we go.
Kylo sacrifices himself to save Rey.
Leia disappears.
And now Leia disappears, and now everything's full circle. And what's coming up here? We see a crumbled Star Destroyer falling, and we're basically redoing the original trilogy all over again. We see the celebration.
Pieces are landing gently on the ground.
All across the galaxy. We see Cloud City. We see Wicket on Endor with supposedly Wicket's son. Wicket has a son now. There you go. So we do see Ewoks in this movie.
Okay, well, we haven't gotten there yet. But
it's coming.
Is it... Oh, I forgot the guy's name. Is it him in the Wicket costume? Because he did show up in the Solo movie.
It is Warwick Davis.
Warwick Davis. I was about to say Vern Troyer, but I knew better.
It's Warwick Davis, all right. Here we go. It's falling.
Cloud
Look,
City.
everyone. Cloud City, remember? And the explosion seen from afar. There's Wicket and his son.
Interesting. Grunts, it says.
And there's Jakku. We see the down Star Destroyer. We gotta have something there to make us feel like, okay, this is kinda sort of a satisfying ending, but is it really that much of a payoff? What are we left with here?
It's weird because everybody should be celebrating the fall of the First Order, though it sure looked like the First Order was done after the first movie with their Starkiller base blown up.
Okay, let's look carefully. Let's see if we see Wedge among all this.
I don't think so.
Yeah, it's the same thing. It's the ending of Return of the Jedi. Except it's these characters now. Forget the original cast.
We're going to have our lesbian moment. Introduce that to Star Wars. Well, it's the kind of birdish-looking blonde go-between gal, but I forgot who she kisses. One of the X-Wing pilots from here.
And I'm going to say this, the ending of Return of the Jedi still brings tears to my eyes. This doesn't.
I found something you might want to have. Finally, a medal. We've redeemed Star Wars, guys.
And did we really need the scene after this where Rey goes to the moisture farm? The movie could have just ended right here. Boom, cut to credits.
Yeah, what business does she have going there? She never lived there. Not her people. Doesn't make sense. I'm still looking for Wedge. I have to look again. That could be him in the background there. I think it is.
Yeah, let's be positive. Wedge survives. They didn't kill off Wedge.
Yeah. Because if he was on the Falcon, we know that they're fine, but maybe he wasn't on the... I thought he was on the Falcon. I thought it panned from I thought Lando, and then it kind of panned down to him shooting. So I'd have to look back at
I
that. But
couldn't tell. Was he on his own ship or was he somewhere on the Falcon manning a gun?
I think the latter. I think he was on the Falcon.
I'm surprised that they didn't even rehash the same victory music. You know, da 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 da. Da, 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 da,
Hey,
da,
try not to get me a
da,
copyright
da,
strike
da.
here.
I'm surprised they
You got to be
didn't.
careful of John Williams.
And instead, they're just redoing the Yoda's theme.
Everybody meet up and hug it out.
That's the other problem going into these movies. Whatever.
Now this is where you flash cut to the credits. Instead, fade, and we need another ending for the hell of it.
Whatever's memorable is just stuff that's recycled from the original trilogy. John Williams is old, guys. I think he even announced this was going to be the last movie he was ever going to compose. Is he coming back to compose Indiana Jones 5?
No, I don't think so. But I know that there was like Bridge of Spies was like the first Steven Spielberg movie without John Williams in the longest time. Like he's definitely giving his notice. I wonder if they have any blue milk left. So important that I slide down here, because you saw me slide in Force Awakens, so that's what I do.
Yeah, look at this, everyone. Remember this from the original trilogy?
You're aware of that Galactic Cruiser event at Disney World, that little vacation thing. You get like, what is it, like a 2 or 3 night stay, and everybody does cosplay, and you act out something. But for the price, you could actually go to Tunisia and see the actual set instead of the mocked up Galactic Cruiser, which they're now shoehorning in as being relevant in Star Wars. Like, oh yeah, well, it's according to Wikipedia, the Galactic Cruiser was part of this battle, so that's a reason why you want to go see it. You know what I'm talking about, right? That thing?
I think so. Interesting.
I actually see ads for it on Twitter, and I feel kind of bad for the person running the Star Wars Twitter because people are just all upset about the price.
Interesting.
I mean,
Rey
it's not the worst concept, but it needs to be better priced.
Luke and I guess Leia's lightsaber in the sand, and now she's got her own yellow lightsaber. Yeah, what other colors have we not used? Uh-oh.
Ain't allowed to have purple. Only Mace gets purple.
And this old woman asks, who are you? Who are you? Oh no, what's coming here? She sees Luke and Leia's ghosts in the distance over there. Rey Skywalker.
Now I get to be Rey Skywalker.
Hence the Rise of Skywalker. There
I
we go.
destroyed this family and assumed their identity. That is what I have done.
All the Skywalkers are dead, and who's victorious in the end? A Palpatine, who
I got all of them
herself
killed,
as a Skywalker.
But I'm going to go in hiding by calling myself Skywalker.
And full circle.
No one will be the wiser.
Full circle. The twin sons at the very end. Boom. Wow.
It's weird because the suns are there, but it looks like it's becoming nighttime, right? Like she goes down there and it's daylight. Now the suns are up, or maybe they were going down. I don't know,
Rey Skywalker, the Rise of Skywalker.
Say your piece. Preach, Michael, preach.
Oh my god. Wow, yes. That, ladies and gentlemen, was the Star Wars sequel trilogy, and they all sucked. All of them. What was the point of these movies, even? How much did...
Make money.
How much did it cost to make these movies? About $4 billion? $4 billion that could have gone towards, I don't know, curing cancer.
All told, I guess they probably made money on their investment, but Disney sure had to pony up a lot up front,
$4 billion?
And they make more on the back end, that some of that kind of collaterally comes back in Disney Plus membership and all that. But as I try to point out to people, the franchise you really would have wanted to buy is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was sold in I think it was 2012, okay? It was 2012, it was sold for $60 million or something. Or maybe it was a few years earlier than that. But the point is, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, you can shell out a new Ninja Turtles movie and recoup that price right there immediately. Anybody can voice Leonardo, Donatello, Michelangelo, Raphael. You can just reboot it endlessly. With Star Wars, if you have somebody other than Mark Hamill playing Luke Skywalker, people are pissed. There's much more adherence here. There's a tight rope to walk on, and I don't think Disney managed. Go ahead. I had to get Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in there somehow.
$4 billion that could have gone towards ending world hunger. $4 billion that could have gone to me. Wow. I'm just
what
speechless.
does money get you anymore? Now it's $4 billion doesn't buy you a tenth of Twitter, according to Elon Musk's spending.
Yeah.
So
money can't buy happiness, but it sure helps. And what's here?
It can't buy you a good movie either.
Exactly. Case in point. And what's here in the credits during this music montage? We got bits and pieces of the Imperial March. We got bits and pieces of the opening crawl theme, and then we got something basically the same from Return of the Jedi. Is it still fun to listen to? Of course, yeah. But okay, let's review from episodes.
I have never thought about firing up the Rise of Skywalker soundtrack on Spotify, even if there is such a thing.
Yeah. I mean, every film from episodes 1 through 6, they all connect because they had their own different thing and what's there in the story. The Phantom Menace is the beginning. Attack of the Clones is the war. Revenge of the Sith is the fall. A New Hope is, well, the New Hope. The Empire Strikes Back is the revelation. Return of the Jedi is the redemption. They all have their own connecting theme. If you're to marathon these movies, then watch this sequel trilogy, it's jarring AF.
Yeah, it really surprises me most that how disjointed these are, how they didn't have a clear vision, and they signed off on it anyway. Now, it is bold for Disney to say, hey, Rian Johnson, we're proud of you for whatever movie. We're going to let you write and direct and produce this next Star Wars movie. Do whatever you want with it. We're not going to see a director get that kind of control again. It's a major seat change for a number of reasons, but no one directs a Marvel movie. That is a churned out committee process by marketing focus group decision making.
George Lucas had a
no one's directing a Star Wars movie going forward. If they come back to this, it will be finely tuned. What is the most marketable thing to do, and that is what we're doing.
George Lucas had a vision, and he stuck with it to the end. Disney had no vision. Sure, he's made mistakes, and I hate that he's been suppressing the original unaltered trilogy for so long, but he's not perfect. Who is?
All right, well, I'll leave you guys with that. And
God,
till next time.
Okay, I mean,
whatever.
Anyone left in these movies still alive? Mark Hamill, Ian McDiarmid, Anthony Daniels, Billy D. Williams, please. No more Star Wars movies. Don't embarrass yourself or disgrace yourself anymore for this trilogy anymore. Voice act if you want, but no more. I would say the same to Carrie Fisher, but she died making these movies. Harrison Ford sure won't. He hates these movies.
Till next time, adios.
All right, bye-bye.